people in the building. No real cold open. We diving right in. Technical difficulties that were completely out of our control. Nothing we can do. But this is what happens when you're teamed up with the hardest working man in the biz. He finds a way. And that's exactly what Boy Green has done for us all today to get us here, right now. It's Boy Green meets Woody. We are live. We are live, holding our cell phones, finding a way through the sheer willpower of this man, this boy who became king, Mr. Paul Esden Jr. So let's see, how's he doing today? How you doing?
I appreciate that, Woody. I've now been complimented in that same way twice this week. On Wednesday, we did a live radio show from a store in Syracuse, and our plan of attack to do a show went to the crapper immediately, and everyone went, Paul, and I went, let me see what I can do. Do all this bullshit. Bluebird, 22, 22. Yeah, I'm in the Oswego gear. I'm calling an audible. Okay, 54, 54. And a long story short, I was able to save that show too. And after, whew, thank God we had you here, Paul. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm here for. I didn't know I was immediately going to be using that again so quickly. That super that I've been gifted from the high heavens, but I'm glad we're able to get something here. So, folks, this is technical difficulties beyond what anyone can control. It might even affect some of your favorite Jets content creators because a lot of us use StreamYard. So, StreamYard's having some issues. But I want to shout out everybody for coming on. We're streaming live, I believe, only on Take Flight Talk and Boy Green's YouTube channel right now. So, we're doing the best we can. Sorry to our Twitter, Instagram, and everyone else, folks. You guys can do that. And Gator McCluskey's in our comment section. I can see StreamYard is down all over. And thankfully, we have YouTube. 5 years ago, it'll be 5 years in September, I started doing my live shows straight off of YouTube, just like this. I didn't have a handsome bearded co-host with me. I was all by myself, but I tried to do what I could do. So yeah, this is a world that we're operating in what we can. Hopefully StreamYard fixes their issues soon, but I'm glad that we're still able to do a show today, Woody, because obviously a lot's happened today on the final mandatory minicamp day, the final Jets off-season date before training camp. Big day.
Yeah, huge. So it definitely would have been a missed opportunity to, go down with the ship, as they say. You can call us Rose from the Titanic. We out here. We left, and now we on that floating door right now. And there are a lot of pieces, a lot of tidbits from the practices themselves. Right, a couple people reporting on those, but then of course the press conference and getting the quotes. You've done a fantastic job of letting us know through social media of what Brees has said about the trade rumors and all that type of stuff. I mean, hey, you already know how much I was beating me up, how much I was fighting back tears on this show, trying to, come on, God, what are you guys doing? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like that was me the whole time. But a whole lot of quotes from a whole lot of Jets personalities, and yeah, some more quotes today, and we about to go through them.
Now, I will say this. Normally, I say, if you're watching on YouTube, do this. Well, you can only be watching on YouTube. So, everybody that's currently watching the show, like the video, hit subscribe down below, baby. Appreciate you. Both like it both on my YouTube channel and on Woody's side of the house that he won in the settlement agreement. So, everything Rudy won. I got this box that I'm currently in. I'm in a phone booth right now, and we're trying to do the best we can. So make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe, baby, to show your support. There was a lot of really good stuff here, Woody. Let's start in a fun place. So the Jets. I saw Connor Hughes taped it at Jets mandatory minicamp, so I'll give him credit. The Jets offensive linemen were doing catching drills. And a lot of people, because like you see practice before you speak with AG, and they're seeing that and they're like, ooh, they're like, Lions. They are known for the offensive lineman reporting or not reporting for big special plays. Is that what AG's doing? He's trying to find his Dan Skipper. He's trying to find his guy. And Connor Hughes asked AG after it. He set up the question grade. So salute to Connor. I think it was the first question asked at the presser. He's like, Aaron, you said you were trying to look for somebody opposite of Garrett Wilson, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, did you see anything from the offensive lineman catching? And Aaron went, Absolutely not. And then he just started ripping the offensive lineman. But Wudi, buy or sell, throw a little bit of this impromptu at you. The Jets doing some Dan Skipperish kind of stuff, and all of a sudden we got some offensive linemen catching touchdowns, maybe some refrigerator Perry action. Are we going to get freaky offensively?
This was actually the very first thing that I saw today
Oh,
when I was looking for content of the day. So I was gonna bring this up. I didn't think you would actually bring it up. I was gonna be like, oh, can we talk about this real quick? So I'm glad right off the bat, you
yeah.
brought it up, boy Green. Um, on my timeline, I saw them hyping up how Ben Johnson was having the Bears offensive lineman do that. I think I saw that yesterday or maybe the day before. I did not see anything on my timeline about the Jets. Someone actually sent it to me directly. And I was like, damn, why are we not getting the same love? Because it was the NFL like IG account that was, oh, Ben Johnson, the genius who was doing this. So to see us doing it as well, I liked it. Right, there's no reason to not like it, in my personal opinion. Right, the more options you have, the more creative you are, and that's been a huge criticism of most of of this dark period of no playoffs has been the lack of creativity on offense. Nathaniel Hackett, Adam Gase. We were not fans. I would say the fan base was split on Mike LaFleur. I was pro LaFleur. And if you recall, when LaFleur was calling the shots, we did have our QB catch a pass and gritty, pretty solid gritty, in the end zone, right? That's that's what LaFleur was doing until the playbook got too complicated for his QB, who's still getting confused. I don't know if you've seen any quotes he's had.
I
Um,
did. Hey, Woody, let me ask you real quick. You said that a certain quarterback from our past caught a touchdown, was doing a gritty. What opponent was that against?
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Week 4, baby. And now we're playing the Steelers again? Huh? Huh? A little magic trick, a little Euro.
I mean, we also played the Steelers last year, but I don't think we want to talk about any of
No, no, no. No.
nothing. Yeah, And Garrett Wilson dropped to who was that? I forget that DB's name because he caught two. I think that game. But
Yeah.
anyway, right. We trying to smile. We out here. So I will keep the smile pointed up. And just say that yes, creativity is good. I think we had it with LaFleur, but the QB was just not bright enough to pick it down to pick it up. So with this, Tanner Enstrin, we want him to be great. We want Fields to be great. If he can, pick it up, if the offensive line, I mean, probably have the youngest offensive line in the league with all the young draft picks that we have. So let's take advantage of that. Let's use that athleticism. The fact that they're doing it in drills, I think is a huge positive. It's great to see. It's not like I'm saying, oh, now wide receiver two, it's about to be Armand Membu, but I'm saying this team is thinking outside the box. They're trying to find ways to win, in all avenues, and I love to see that.
Yeah, and I just want to answer it just because I know new people are going to be joining the show. Other people are going to be leaving the show as we're doing this. It's a technical issue, as Gator is saying. Apparently, it's a Google Cloud issue that's taking down a lot of different services on the internet. Three siblings ask, "Is this the only way to watch it?" Yeah, or this is the only way here on YouTube. So again, if you're watching, like the video, hit subscribe. I see we have over 25 people in here, but only 11 likes. That math don't math, people. So it's for free. It's the free way to contribute is by liking the video and hitting subscribe. So make sure you do it. And I see Bubble Badshaw says, "Let's use the young O line to beat Pittsburgh and make me $100 richer."
Yeah, well, we'll see. I hope that happens, obviously, because I'm trying to end the playoff drought.
Of course.
So yes, let's see it. But last year was not a great time for us.
Well, let's do a follow up on that because we started off with the first question Aaron Glenn was asked. It only makes sense that we skip fast forward Devo boop, 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 to the last thing he was asked. And it was funny because, if you ever watch a press conference, you hear people asking whoever the player or coaches questions. And then there's someone on the side going, two more, one more. And as Brian Costello went to ask his question, before he could even get it out, the guy goes, last one. And Brian goes, great, because Aaron, I want to ask you about the quarterback that the opponent you're playing against in week one. They signed a quarterback, and Aaron Glenn starts smiling, and he says, I was ready for this. I was prepared for this. And they had a fun back and forth about it. And Brian Costello said, so, AG, you got any thoughts about the new quarterback that you're now going to be facing? And he just said, all games are important, and gave this politically correct answer and smiled. And Brian said, fine, I'll ask a follow up. There's going to be a lot of distractions heading into week one, around your team and things. And what's it going to be? And he sort of continued to dance around it and said, there's distractions for a lot of games. Steelers are a good team. I respect Mike Tomlin. He's he's an idol I look at after and all that other jazz. I guess it's probably not that surprising then, Woody, that AG is matrixing all the bullets coming in for that conversation. That it sounds like they're not going to touch that, but he's going to have to give those answers for the next 3 months because those questions aren't going to stop here in mandatory minicamp, Woody.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, they're only going to get more intense as it gets closer to the game. I don't know. You shared a clip of Aaron Rodgers, where I felt like he took the high road and they gave him a chance.
I think.
They they threw him the alley oop, and I know you were already saying, "Oh, Aaron's gonna talk shit. Oh, he's a criminal mastermind.
But
Oh, you know."
here's the thing: if we're being honest, he already talked his shit on the Pat McAfee show. So, like, if he never did the Pat McAfee thing and then just said that, I think he would have garnered even more respect because I saw a lot of that on Twitter under the video I posted. A lot of people said he already talked that mess on Pat McAfee, and maybe there's still more to come. Again, there's 3 months. And we say 3 months. 1 month is going to be nothingness, obviously, because nothing's going on outside of whatever Pat McAfee stuff he does. But yeah, for the most part, I got to give credit where credit's due. He said, if you're any like attack the media guy saying, if you're trying to get me to take a shot at the Jets, I'm not going to do that. Or previous organization I played for, he didn't even call them the Jets, but we all knew who he was talking about. So I got to give respect. I was wrong on that front. He didn't say anything immediately.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like it's not like he's never and I guess that's everybody having their own ideals of what's the right, what's wrong. But to me, he wanted to be a Jet, so when he was unceremoniously shown the door, okay, he's in his fields, he's gonna say what he said on Pat McAfee. But I still don't even feel like that, like it was a shot at the organization as much as it was, the regime. The regime came in and kicked me out. That's pretty much how I took that. So he didn't take the bait, now as a Steeler. So AG, I'm actually more surprised in AG not being like, oh, that old, you know, fool, because that's what he's
Yeah,
been doing the whole time.
Woody, here's the direct quote because, like I said, unfortunately, because of our situation, I can't play all the clips that I had prepared.
Mhm.
So you got to call an audible at line of scrimmage. Here's the direct quote. Shout out to Zach Rosenblatt. Aaron Glenn on facing Aaron Rodgers in week one. Quote, we have 17 really good games we've got to play. I'm looking forward to playing all of them. End quote.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I guess that's kind of AG as well. Asking about Brees, and he's talking about the three running backs, and saying that like talking about the whole general thing. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he ends up actually addressing Rodgers specifically. I think in his best interest, it would be wise to keep doing what he's doing. I feel like I personally wouldn't want to give Rogers any, bulletin board material, but I know we disagree on that. You think we got one foot in the nursing home, so
He does. Come on. Come on, Woodster. Come on, man. He
what do you
clearly he has 1 foot in the graveyard, let alone the
mean?
goddamn nursing. Come on, man.
I mean, both of those feet were moving at the end of the season.
Well, that could be the case. I don't know, but I'm sure this won't be the last time that we talk about Aaron Rodgers on this show and all the hubbub. But Aaron Glenn finally spoke about it. Was finally asked about it. He's not going to openly speak about Aaron Rodgers unless he's asked. So obviously, that's another part of the conversation here on the program. Here's another thing. I'm not going to paint it anyway. Sometimes I give you a quote and tell you how I feel. I'm just going to tell you the quote and you tell me what you feel about it. Aaron Glenn revealed a comment that Quincy Williams made to him about like why things are different from this regime to the previous regime. Here's the quote. Shout out to Zach Rosenblatt. And this is Quincy Williams speaking to Aaron Glenn. Quote, the reason I knew that things were changing is because there was no bitching about anything as far as how we do things, because we are doing things different, end quote. And I'll just add on the context to say Aaron Glenn said that the way that they operate, discipline and all kind and physicality and whatever else they're going to be doing at Jets camp, he says, I don't know if anyone else does it and I don't care. This is how we do it. And Quincy Williams apparently appreciated the genuineness of it. Your thoughts on that from Quincy Williams on why he believes he knew things were different with this Aaron Glenn regime versus the Saleh one?
Well, you can't get me to say anything bad about my guy, Robert Saleh, and I won't. Quincy. I mean, his life was changed under the Saleh regime, but how can you be anything but elated to know that the team has bought in to this new one? For that to happen, Quincy, who I would say is one of the leaders of the team, to feel that way. And of course, you don't want anybody really bitching. So I'm gonna have to say that's a win. That's a win for AG. That's a win, for the Jets, and hopefully that actually translates to like actual wins, like in the record book.
That would be nice. Again, we have Boy Green meets Woody here in a very different wave than normal. It's myself, it's Woody. We're streaming live only on YouTube. Jointly, mine, Boy Green's YouTube channel, and Take Flight Talk at the same time. That's the only way you can consume the show. It's not on Instagram. It's not on Facebook. It's not on Twitter. It's nowhere else because StreamYard is down, and so are a lot of other things on the internet world. I can see we got 35 people in the room just on my YouTube channel, and then plus what Woody has bringing in. Only 15 likes. Let's bump up those likes, people. That is the free way to contribute to the show. So make sure you guys please like the video, show your support. You guys can still send in super chats and comments and questions and gift memberships. You guys can do all that too. I'll keep track of that for the raffle tickets on the side. I want to throw this one in here too, Woody. Aaron Glenn said it's going to be important to him that he's going to be working on tackling in training camp. Now, that may sound like a doy. Why wouldn't you be? But apparently, there's a lot more restrictions with physicality and things you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. And Aaron Glenn basically has a plan to make sure that they work on that. And he says, or Zach Rosenblatt, this may be his perspective on it. Not every team is doing this anymore, working on tackling, because I guess they're using their time on other things, skipping over the fundamentals. AG said, very important to do that. And Zach Rosenblatt said, quote, expect a physical training camp in July. Your reaction, Woody?
This is another one where how can you hear that and be like, damn, that sucks. Tackling was a huge issue last year. The Jets have actually been a higher missed tackle team throughout the entire regime, but because of the pressures and all that type of stuff, it wasn't, we weren't exposed. We weren't getting exposed for
Right.
tackles in the second level because of all the pressure we were generating. But as soon as Salah went, the pressures went with him, and now it's like, oh wow, this person can't tackle, that person can't tackle. So that is huge for the personnel that we have. I think Sauce gets a little too much flack. I know, they really like to, bully him, say he can't tackle. I think he can tackle better than what he gets credit for. But I mean, to improve that floor is huge for everybody across the board. Let's work on tackling. Let's stop people, when they catch the ball. This is the no yak zone. No yak zone. All right. Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what hold it, hit him with the Heimlich. Or don't hit him with the Heimlich. Don't, because the
Oh, right.
Heimlich, yeah, right there. Yeah. So no yak zone. Let's stop. The ball catcher like right at the point of the catch.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, we're on Sauce, so let's go to Sauce now. Candidly, whoop. Hand up here. The Jets had not posted the full Sauce Gardner press conference before we started our show. So I've not seen it. I've only read quotes. So this is interpretive from Rich Cimini, but it seems on par with our conversation. Sauce Gardner apparently addressed his ongoing contract discussions with the Jets, saying, quote, this from Rich Cimini, my team and the Jets have been talking, and, I feel pretty good about how the talks have been going, end quote. Rich Cimini asked him, or one of the media members did, do you have a desire to be the highest paid cornerback in football? Is that important to you? Quote, I don't want to get into the numbers, end quote. Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Russini reported a couple of days ago that Sauce Gardner does want to be the highest paid corner in football. What do you think the truth is there?
It's hard to, um, find fault with the claim that Sauce wants to be the highest paid. I mean, his name is Sauce, right? First year in the league, he got the sauce with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right.
Money and brand have been things that have clearly been very, very important to him from day one in the league. So I would imagine that, yes, he does want to be the highest paid corner in football. Will that actually happen? I don't know. Personally, I hope not. Not to say that I don't want to, pay people, but
Reaction. I don't have any sounders, so I have to make them up like a jukebox. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Oh, whoa! Breaking news: Sauce Gardner is now the highest paid corner in football. Wudi, your reaction?
is that true? Wait, is that true?
No, no,
No.
that's. I'm just saying, if it was, I want your reaction to it. What would it be?
Oh, if it was, I mean, it is what it is.
It
But
is what it is. That's your response. Oh boy.
yeah, what? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. First of all,
Okay,
I don't think he is the best corner, right? Like that. This is what we were
that's
talking
not
about
what
before.
I didn't
What?
ask you if he was the best. I told you if he became the highest paid corner in football, your reaction would be what?
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, okay, congratulations, Sauce. Is that what you're looking for?
Proper thing.
Congratulations.
When something good happens, I want some congratulations. There you go. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for him. I don't know if it's good for the team, but it's definitely good for him. Um, I'm trying to have none of the highest paid players for their position on the team. That's a
That's
hampering.
good news. That's good
What?
news. That's good news if you do, because that means that you have a player that, like, we drafted a top five pick that was an I was going to call him an all star. What is this, the NBA? That was a first team All Pro, and two of his first three seasons. Holy bleep! We didn't draft a bust. Blessed be he. That should be celebratory. I would imagine. I want as many of those guys on the team as possible. That's great.
Yes. I mean, obviously, you want to pay your players, you want them to stay. I was the number one person, I think, on the planet who was trying to get Quinn paid. But I'm saying the contracts, um, to be tied down to big contracts, you look at the most, the highest paid players in the NFL. Kirk Cousins has earned more in his entire career than pretty much any other NFL player.
Absolutely.
And how many times has he made it to a Super Bowl? I mean, Dak is another one who's consistently been one of the high. I think he's earned the most since he's been in the league. You give these people bags, and now the team around them suffers. So I definitely stand by. I'm not trying to have the highest paid player at their position, like at any point. Let's try to give him the most that we can, for as long as we can, um, and go from there. I mean, Quincy Williams, severely underpaid. Probably, that's a little too far extreme. But like deals like that, that's how you have great teams. Is because you have guys like that are that talented that aren't breaking the bank. They used to say something for QBs on their rookie deals. That was the best way to build around a team because you have all this money going to the team, and then you have the rookie QB who's making pennies. Right? That happened for Mahomes. That happened for what's his name, Hurts. That happened for Burrow. You know happened for Purdy, right? So there's a nice list of people there. So now that Purdy's getting paid, let's see how the Niners do. You know, so I think for Sauce, there's no doubt in my mind he wants to be the highest paid. He's been brand conscious this whole time. But yeah, I'm just hoping he's not obviously like top five, yeah, sure. But I wouldn't want them to reset the market with his deal.
Let me just say this. I love it. Gators in our comment section says, half the internet is down. You guys have pretty much the only live show on the planet. Very impressive. Cha-cha. I'm glad that all these people in the world are like, what's on the TV? Every channel's gone. Wait a second. Boy Green meets Woody. Ah, geez, I'm forced to watch this? Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
The great people of America and beyond that they have no other choice but to watch this. So, booyah, you're welcome in advance. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. Make sure you do that. What other choice you have? What other show you can watch? Apparently nothing. So, yes, uh, hit it up, baby. Love it. Absolutely terrific. I would say this, and Three Siblings talks about this as well in the comment section. That highest paid is temporary, right? So a quarterback, or well, let's stay at corner. I'm not even going to jump to other positions. J.C. Horn for a week was the highest paid corner in football. He's like, yeah, baby, Jalen Ramsey, who? J.C. Horn here, $25 million per year. Highest paid corner in football. Probably did a few interviews. Yeah, I'm the highest paid corner in football. Banana, banana. Oh, Derek Stingley, $30 million. Hold my beer. It reminds me, if we go back to C.J. Mosley, oh captain, my captain, right? Former Jets linebacker as well, Quan Alexander became the highest paid linebacker in football in free agency from the 49ers. And he was like, yeah, baby, I'm the highest paid. And then, like 24 hours later, CJ Mosley was like, yeah, thank you. Check, please. And the Jets made him the highest paid off ball linebacker and like annihilated it. You know, sometimes people kind of penny, like Sauce is like, I just want one penny more than Derek Stingley. CJ Mosley didn't get one penny more than Quan Alexander. He got like 3 or 4 million per year more. And I was like, Jesus, man, the Jets went overboard on that one. So it's kind of curious that sometimes on these, right? So corner, the market completely changed at the beginning of this offseason, Woody. 24.1 million was the number. And I remember us talking, oh boy, is Sauce going to top that? And now all of a sudden it's jumped 6 million more per season. Like, damn, this market's exploding. So highest paid, of course, is temporary. So, I guess that's a factor too, that if you set it now, well, here's the thing. Here's the complicated part. We're in this Sauce thing.
Mhm.
What do you do if you're the Jets? You have 2 years of control on Sauce. You have him for 2025. You have him for 2026. That's before the franchise tag game. I'm just saying straight up contract. Do the Jets voluntarily, who have Sauce right now on a deal, say, fuck the deal. Here's the highest paid, buddy. You're highest paid now. And the fans go crazy. Yeah, we got Sauce Gardner. But then all of a sudden, is Sauce going to play out this full deal, or if he balls out in 3 years, you going to be like, yeah, you're going to have to pay me again? Are we going to get Darrell Revis? I think a lot of fans are fearful of that. Right now, the Jets have the leverage. How do they use the leverage? And again, would they just sacrifice it to make him highest paid when they don't have to necessarily? That's sort of where we get into some funky issue.
Yeah, that's what I feel like that's kind of what I'm alluding to is that we're not trying to hamstring the team. He's not even the only deal that they're negotiating this year. Like, it's
Yeah,
not happening in a vacuum.
AP, John Simpson. I mean,
Well, I was talking more like like a max type deal, like Garrett, right? Garrett and
oh, Garrett.
Sauce. We're looking at 20 plus per year for both of them. And yeah, like, as much as I love, the one player and you want them to be a Jet for life, my loyalty is to the team. It's to like the team, the Jets, right? I want the Jets to be in the best place moving forward. So with that being said, I hope they can work out something. I personally probably wouldn't have even, you know, opened up the discussion. Maybe I would actually probably open up the discussion for Garrett now and wait on Sauce. And I would say that because for Garrett, I think his stock is going to go up like after this year. Um, and who knows? Because we say that every year, and it pretty much stays the same. but I just, based on what I'm seeing, I just feel like it's going to go up. So you want to pay Garrett now, and now you have the Quincy Williams type. Obviously, not that extreme, but Quincy Williams like type deal of, oh wow, what a great contract. Sauce, we don't know. We don't, and I'm not saying that Sauce is bad. He has the two All Pros, right? But is he like how many more is he going to earn on this new deal? He had the down year. I think we're all hoping that he can bounce back. I saw a comment earlier that they can unlock his true potential. Yeah, that's possible. But I don't see Sauce's value exploding this year the way that Garrett's could. So I would pay Garrett right now. Hey, come on now, let's talk. Let's make you top five receiver, and then in 3 years, when he actually is playing like a top whatever receiver, it's like, ha ha, we out here still building around the team. Sauce, I would hate to make him the highest paid corner right now, and then in 3 years, people looking at us like Trumaine Johnson, like another one
Oh,
of those. Well, but the concept of what I'm trying to say of like, oh
yeah.
wow, we're paying that guy that much, but obviously I don't expect Sauce to be Trumaine Johnson
God, I hope not.
levels of no, no.
That's a quote. That's a quote. Let me compare it to this and see if this vibes with you or I'm an idiot, which is possible. Okay. So the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. Sorry to bring that back up. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to get a coach eventually that doesn't just reject you outright. But I'm going to go to
First
one
of
of
all,
the
the coaches are not rejecting it. It's the teams. Are you for real?
sure. One of the
Okay.
coaches, one of the coaches that did reject you, who even knows if you even pursued, but he just wanted to make it clear that he wasn't interested, was Rick Pitino. And the reason why I bring up Rick Pitino is this: the part of what he said that is true. Again, it's sort of like, hey, I just want to put it out there. I'm not interested in Megan Fox, and people would be like, well, Paul, she wasn't interested in you. I just want to say, from my perspective, I'm not interested. Right? That's what Rick Pitino did for the Knicks. But the thing he said is, like, why would I go there? If you don't reach the NBA Finals, it was a failure because they just reached the Eastern Conference Final. So if you don't surpass that, then you were a loser. So I bring that to Sauce Gardner. He's the highest paid corner in football. If that was the deal that came in, again, this is speculative. That's not true. It hasn't happened. Who knows if it'll happen? But if that happens, our expectations inevitably go, "Oh, okay, you're the highest paid. Then you were doing this. Now we want you to do this." So the expectations go higher. It's interesting on Garrett, right? That you can get the last laugh because you pay him, let's make it up, 30 million. That's the number everyone keeps saying. But the highest paid receiver is 40 million. If Garrett is 1,500 yards this year, reconnected with Justin Fields, we all go, Wudi, what he just said, ha ha ha, motherfucker. Look, the Jets got the greatest deal of all time. You can't say that about Sauce no matter what kind of season he has, quite frankly, because if he's number one, we're like, okay, you were supposed to. You're the highest paid. If you're not, it gives you that leeway. People like making money. They like making deals. You buy it for this price, but then you sell it for this price, or you get it at this when it's worth this. Those are the kind of conversations. So I vibe with what you're saying, Woody.
Wow, it's a rare time of agreement between your boys right here, boy Green and Woody. Um, but yeah, I mean that's exact. I completely agree actually with everything you just said and how the expectations work. Shout out my guy, Indy Jets. I see him in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we can't like actually put any comments on the
All right.
screen. We are working with tough times. We miss sent back to an earlier time without with the Google Cloud. Um, you
Raining.
know, yes, it's pouring. What I'm talking about. But Mr. Rickshaw, you asked me to shout you out. Holla at your boy Rickshaw. You getting shouted out live on the show.
And let me ask you this, because Rick Shaw has mentioned this a few times. We haven't had a chance to get to it. So, Rick, I understand the comment that you want shouted out. You've brought this up on a couple of shows. Unfortunately, we've had other things going on, so we couldn't. And the comment is, do you support Bible study at the facility? One of the Jets players on the 90-man roster, excuse me, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. I'm still even thinking. If I go through the New York Jets roster, I'll give him a shout out in a second, but he shared a post of obviously HU is hosting some sort of a Bible study of some kind because there was like I don't want to call it a homework assignment, but one of the Jets players on his Instagram or something shared like a sheet of like fill in verses and stuff like that. So like there was something, uh, uh, you know, uh, I'm trying to say this right, Bible, church, religion related. What do you make of that, Woody? Because obviously not every coach does that in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, am a God fearing man. I know there are a lot of athletes out there that are God fearing men. So I believe this is just another way to create unity. I don't think it creates division. Like, if, you weren't at the class, or these are not your beliefs. I don't think it creates division. But for those who do, this is just another avenue. Some people bond like, oh, you play Fortnite. Oh, cool. This is just another way to bond. Like, hey, you believe in this? Oh, me too. And for that to come from the head coach level, I think that helps those players buy in as well, right? Because it's a lot about faith and patience and the process, and those are all things that can apply to the sport of football. So I think I'm not mad at it. I saw some people mad at it. I don't think it's mad. They're mad. What where it becomes controversial is if there's some sort of like penalty, like if it's mandatory.
Yes,
Okay, yeah, that's all right. We bucket, but to have it as an option and to have multiple players um that feel that way, then come on now, let's do it. That to me, I think it's only an advantage.
you hit the nail on the head at the end of your answer, Woody. Despite everything else you said was wonderful too, but specifically what you said at the end there. So Rickshaw says, "I'm a Christian, but I think it is not appropriate for the workplace." Again, we can't highlight comments on the screen because of our current situation, so I apologize for anyone that is trying to get on the screen. We can't do that right now.
Mm.
Uh, I just have to say, I feel the same way Woody does. Whether you're religious or not, obviously everyone has different flavors of whether it's Buddhism or Christianity or atheism or whatever your bag is that you choose to do. If I'm at a buffet, do I get angry because there's a vegan option? Why is this here? Well, do you like vegan? No. Well, why does it bother you? You can just have the meat option. I don't give a shit. This is ridiculous. Why should this be here? No. If I'm at a buffet, I do not get angry at the vegan option. I'm sorry for any religious people that just got offended at me comparing you to the vegan option at a buffet. But the point is, okay, as we're going into this, is as long as it's an option, right? Like Jermaine Johnson also spoke about his faith when he was up there and how that helped him through his Achilles surgery and things of that nature. To me, if it's an option for people that believe in the Holy Lord above, blessed be He, if they believe that they can do it, right? If it's mandatory, that's sort of weird because, like, people are in all kinds of things and forcing them to be in the room if they don't believe it, that seems overpowering. Now, don't get me like one of the shows I want to be on, Woody. This is a very weird detour, but one of the shows I want to be on is Survivor. And for those who've never seen the show, 20 castaways, 20 random people from the United States of America all get thrown on an island, and you got to sort of figure it out with your own community. And the cool thing about that is everyone comes from different walks of life. So you have what we all see in a 40-minute episode or 90-minute episode on a week to week basis obviously doesn't cover the full shish kebab. It only covers a small piece. A lot of what you have that the cameras don't show is time. You're just sitting on an island with all these random people, so you get to learn about other cultures. And one person is not all culture, so there's something to learn from somebody. So if someone wants to attend AG's Bible study, I don't know if he's giving sermons in the front of the room, but if you go in there and you're like, cool, I don't believe this, but let me learn what it's more about. Cool. But again, as long as it's not mandatory, I have zero problems with it whatsoever. To me, it's great because I think there are a lot of core principles in religion that translates to football personally. Think about the three F's. People talk about faith, family, and football. Those are common things that we all have connective tissue about. Again, I'm not going to force anything on anybody that they don't want, but if it's out there, I don't see anything wrong with that. And that's cool that AG is incorporating himself into what he's doing. AG seems to be a very proud man of faith. I wouldn't want him to hide that. In a very weird way, when I got into this line of work, they told me hide your Jet fandom and throw it in a closet. Do not give it out. That messes with people. And I said, I don't want to pretend I'm something I'm not. I just want to be straight up. If people accept it, great. If they don't, well, there's the bleeping door, buddy. And I think that's a good way to live life.
Yeah, I agree. And again, like, you know, what Boy Green and I can't believe we got, see, Google Cloud goes down, and all of a sudden Boy Green and I start acting funny. I don't know what's happening. We need that cloud to come back up. But
Yeah.
I think at the core of what we're saying is that it's not mandatory. So I don't think it should be an issue for those that want to partake. It's awesome that they have a place to partake. Those who don't, you're still good to go. Rather, you're still good to do whatever you need. So, I think that's I guess where we'll leave it. But shout out to AG and what they got going on.
Game Gods TV asked, Woody, when are you and Gunny Gumby gonna collab? I love Gunny. This question has nothing to do with me. I just want to say, Gunny Gunny's awesome. I've done shows with him, so yes, yeah. Woody, what the hell's going on, pal? Do you hate
Hey,
horses? Do you hate Gunny Gumby? Huh?
not at all. For real. I've been that's been on my bucket list for quite some time now. Hopefully hit him up. Hit up. We got to start a campaign, so that we can get this going. I definitely love Gunny's takes. We are both Caribbean men,
Oh,
following the Jets, doing our thing. So that I think that would be an absolute treat for me personally. Like I said, it's legitimately on my bucket list. And Game Gods. If that's something that you want to see, then somebody gotta reach out to this man and let him know that we gotta make this happen.
amen. Amen. Well, Woody, again, there's more quotes and things to get to, but again, I can't play any of them on the show. We can't highlight comments, so hopefully, instead of what's that? Something. I can see clearly now. The is
Yeah.
it's gone. We got to wait for the clouds to sort of figure themselves out over there. It took me a while to get there. My brain was beep boop pop up. It was buffering up there. I finally got.
Yes.
We got to let all that clear out. And while this was very intimate, I feel like so here with you, and it was great, but hopefully we can get back to the intro. I'm gonna just appreciate everything more now. I'm gonna be like, wow, I took that for granted. That we just boop intro, hey comments, boop 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 boop. Now I'm just gonna, I can't take that for granted anymore. That's, I guess, the lesson from today.
Yes. Hey, it's like when you lose power. And you are here playing cards next to candles and stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never take you for granted. That's, I mean, yeah, I had a great time. If you got another quote, we can go over it if you want.
Oh, okay,
But yeah, I mean, talking to everybody in the comments, always good times. But yeah, let's get one more quote for the road.
okay. One more for the road. Here's one. Let's get this one in here. I will just say this one isn't a quote necessarily, but I guess it was part of the video. But again, our whole situation went different. Leadership guys, that AG said that, like they talked about him as a leader, and they're like, "Oh, did you have any leaders like when you were a player?" And he went, "Ronnie Lott." People forget Ronnie Lott played for the New York Jets. He's on the YouTube thumbnail, baby. And he said that Ronnie Lott, when he was facing injuries, Ronnie Lott did things, and AG started laughing, that I don't think I would have done, including he amputated. He got one of his fingers cut off. And then wrap it up. What the hell? Ronnie, you sure? We could just sit you this week and you'll have all your fingers next week. No, I'm good. Cut it off. So, that I don't know if that's exactly what AG was talking about, but he gave a shout out to Ronnie Lott for leadership. And I want to mention that. And then also, I want to work in real quick MC2. He said he's going to have a good bounce back season. He said a good thing for that is because being healthy. He was so hurt last year. Now being back healthy and saying that nickel position is so important. And then the actual quote was the discipline. I think it was Brian Costello who asked. He said, "How do you balance a line of discipline? You're a former player. When do you crack the whip? When do you not?" And AG gave this really profound answer that you'll hear a lot of the players been speaking this week that we've talked about some. that said they had one-on-one conversations with AG. AG said he took that from Bill Parcells. He had one-on-one meetings with Bill Parcells back in the day. And what happened is when Bill Parcells had those meetings with the players like AG, he knew what buttons to press for said player. I just had my former Oswego high school football teammate, and I'm wearing all the gear in studio here, and we had coaches that used to go after guys and and say like, "Hey, you better move your ass." And some they were more coddling, they were more different. And he said, you learn the buttons to press when you get to know the player. Once you get to know the player, you get to know what buttons to press to unlock that player's true self. So he really went into discipline, which obviously was an issue in the previous regime. That was sort of refreshing too. So I like the answer on discipline we got there, Woody. And then again, shout out to Ronnie Lott and Michael Carter II, who's bouncing back strong.
Did AG said that Michael Carter the second was bouncing back, or did Michael Carter? Okay, all right.
No, I have not heard. If Michael Carter spoke, I missed that presser. But no, that was AG referencing Michael Carter. He was asked about him at his presser.
Love it. That answer, in terms of the one-on-one, I think that's huge. And like I said before, however many minutes ago, you can't get me to say anything bad about my guy, Robert Sala. But, you know, all gas, no brakes. That's unfortunately that's not a one size fits all mantra. So like what you said, some guys that works, some guys need a little bit of different motivation, you know. So for AG to take the time to to know these guys a little bit more personally, apparently more so than he did with Aaron Rodgers, I think that's a good thing. I was actually nervous after hearing that story, like, oh my god, this guy, he's just gonna do whatever he wants, and whoever don't catch up is gonna be lost in the dust. But for him to take the time and actually get to know these guys and try to do what's best for them. If that's actually what he's doing, then that's a huge, huge win for this team. So that's I think there were a lot of positives. Again, I know R&R likes to call me out. He first comment on this. Woody's about the moaning and groan. It's not about moaning and groaning. It's just we keep this is the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Same old show. Um, if you're looking for ways to kind of say, okay, maybe this is different, maybe this is different, as opposed to just doing what the rest of y'all doing is drinking the Kool-Aid and just automatically feeling. If you need some sort of rational proof to help you sleep at night, there are some nuggets to take away from a lot of these quotes that we gone over, and say, wow, okay, this is different than what we've heard.
Yeah, I see J Boy's in the chat. Hey, boy, Blue fucking everything up today. Yeah, BG needs to save the day. Yeah, boy, Blue over here. Hep, this is not a new format that me and Woody are trying, that we could be more on top of each other and in less screen space. That's not a new internet went out for the Google Cloud. I don't know. That's above my pay grade, but apparently some Google Cloud action. And Hep says, look at Woody's eyes. It looked like he just smoked a blunt. So I
I
can
wish. I wish I did.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny any of that. All I can say is this: no, we just pivoted in a moment. I used to actually do these YouTube live shows 5 years ago in September. That's how I did all of my shows. StreamYard wasn't there for me back in those days. So, no, we had to call an audible. Hopefully, StreamYard and Google Cloud and any of those issues fix themselves, both for Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning. If not, I will just be going live off of YouTube again, but also for Boy Green Meets Woody next week. So hopefully we can fix all of those issues. So apologies, guys, for this. But apparently I don't really have to apologize because you guys had no other choice of anything to watch. So really, you're welcome. Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome, and you're welcome, J Boy. I'll pass this. This is for you right there. There you go, J Boy. My guy, my guy. We did the best we could with what we had. Again, shout out to Boy Green, hardest working man in the biz, making this happen. And yeah, we're hoping that sorry, Gator cracked me up. I don't think we had any filters on. I think we was just live in HD.
Well, I will
Um
Real quick, Gator. So he says we can finally see what you guys look like with all the StreamYard filters. I thought Boy Green was white. It is true. At home, I've got an intense spotlight in my face, so I look like Casper. But no, I am Puerto Rican, baby. You see my good caramel color on this skin, baby. Let's make that perfectly Claritin clear. No sponsors. So no, I do have a white spotlight at home, so I'm trying to work on that color figuration. But Gator, you're funny as hell. Also, speaking of Gator, real quick shout out to Gator. He will be live tonight at 7 o'clock on his channel at Gator Jets. If that will be even possible to be streamed, hopefully
Yeah.
you, but or we're going to be catching you in a different filter. But hopefully that can happen. But everybody, make sure you go support his channel as well at Gator Jets. And speaking of supporting channels, take flight talk, baby. Show your love for the man to my left or right, depending on how you're consuming this. Because on YouTube it's the opposite, so it's confusing as hell. But the point is support, baby. Take flight talk on YouTube, talking all things New York Jets. So Wudi, hopefully we get all this figured out.
Yeah, definitely hope so. Appreciate you guys for riding with us this Thursday. Next week we got some exciting stuff. You know, I know, it's supposed to be the dead period, but clear, we got this. All right, we got to, hey, hit him with it. Yeah, we bringing it back to life. All right, you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna be doing some things. So keep riding with us. StreamYard or no StreamYard, you will be seeing your boys talking next week. In the afternoons, of course, you're gonna see Boy Green tomorrow.
Peace out, everybody. God bless and take care. I think this is how we do this. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe see you later. I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.